What's going on in the downtown area with Ocala Downtown Newspaper? Delivering thousands of newspapers to businesses in the downtown area, Ocala Downtown is there to keep you informed. They even have Tom's Picks, a free referral for people who are looking for a company to do work for them. Tom's Picks will refer the company that fits your needs, and all we ask in return is that you tell them where you heard about it. It's simple. For more info, just call Tom's Picks, 352-804-1223, and pick up your copy of the Downtown Ocala newspaper today.
And now read Ocala Downtown newspaper online. On the first and third Wednesday mornings each month at 9:05 a.m., Robert Colin with On Top of the World will be our guest as we learn all about the exciting lifestyle and new home choices available at Ocala's premier adult active community, On Top of the World. From time to time, Robert will bring guests, and you're sure to enjoy our little chats. After all, you deserve the world, and we bring it to you.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean, I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need my seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, and a new spoiler, and a new truck.
Yep, we can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too.
Well, as a matter of fact, join me, Matt Gibbs from Sunrise Automotive, every Tuesday at 10 for auto repair with personal care right here on The Source.
People ask me why I've worked at Palm Garden for so long, and I tell them it's the people. I love to hear the life stories, especially those from the greatest generation. Celebrating life stories is what sets Palm Garden apart, finding out what's important to them. And I love being a resource. Like Macy's Santa, if I can't help, I'll send them to Gimbel's. After all, Palm Garden is located on 34th Street. I'm Jan from Palm Garden. Call me and let's chat. 854-6262.
There's a staycation right here in town. It's Super 8 Motel Ocala, right down the road on 40, just west of I-75. And they're pet friendly. Have truck parking, free breakfast, a swimming pool, a kiddie pool, and veterans get 10% off. It's a staycation at Super 8 Ocala. Call today, Super 8 Ocala, at 352-629-8794. Again, 352-629-8794.
Oh, hey, Grandpa. Oh, hey, Grandpa. Hey, Grandpa.
Yes, buddy?
Can you take me fishing this weekend?
I'd love to.
Have you noticed a change in your hearing over the years? Missing the little things in life? Visit Beneficial Hearing in Ocala today. Their expert team of audiologists will make sure you never miss a moment. Call Beneficial Hearing today at 352-629-4418 or visit them online, beneficialhearing.com.
When it really counts, depend on The Source for the latest weather updates, keeping you ahead of the storm. 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source.
The day will be humid with clouds and a little sunshine. Look for a brief shower or two this morning. Heavy thunderstorms this afternoon. High 87 to 89. Then mainly cloudy this evening. Low tonight 73 to 75. Tuesday will be partly cloudy with a shower in the area and a high of 87 to 91. Then mostly cloudy and humid on Wednesday. Look for a thunderstorm in spots in the afternoon. High on Wednesday 89 to 91. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Holly Holden.
Welcome back to AM Ocala Live. I'm Tom Schmitz filling in for Adam, who's taking a couple days R&R, rest and relaxation. It's good to get away every now and then and take some rest and relaxation. A friend of mine's in the studio. I like to call, I'm proud that I can call him a friend of mine. We've done a lot of radio together. We've done a lot of video podcasting together. And he does most of the him and the men and women of his office do most of the policing of the county. No, you do all of the policing of the county.
Pretty much.
Sheriff Billy Woods. Sheriff Woods, good to see you.
Good to see you, Tom.
It's been a while since we've been in this studio working together.
It has. It's been quite a while. It's good.
They just can't keep me away is what it is. Joe loves me.
I could feel it when I walked in.
Joe has this inner love for me.
It just overflows. It pours right out.
Yeah, we'll go with that. So, Sheriff, COVID-19 looks like it might be it's not winding down. It's a disease we're going to keep with us. It's because it's a virus. It's not going anywhere. But it looks like the numbers are down. Looks like things are trending in the right direction. Looks like the governor's going to open the state back up. So that then opens up time to talk about something that I think has been pushed to the back burner while COVID-19 has been going on. Yet, when you look at numbers from your office and from Chief Greg Graham's office, y'all see it every day. We still got a bad opioid problem going on in this county.
We absolutely do. And, you know, Chief Graham, myself, and Chief Holland and Chief McQuaig, we all trying to come up with initiatives, ideas, and how we can stop it. You know, Chief Graham's amnesty program is an excellent program that he has in place. And sometimes it baffles me. You know, after going on 31 years in law enforcement, individuals that choose to do this to themselves, I have a hard time understanding. But I have a heart, and we want to help them.
You know, I've walked a mile or two in an addict's shoes because I'm never made any bones about it. I'm a recovering addict. I had a penchant for. I tell the joke all the time. People laugh, but it's not really a joke. It was serious. I hate cocaine, but the smell of it was fantastic. And so, you know, but I had a bad problem. 25 years ago, 27 years ago now, Major Todd Mashburn, who was at the time Detective Todd Mashburn with the Bullitt County Sheriff's Department, saved my life in Bullitt County, Georgia, by putting a Glock to my head, telling me don't move, that I was under arrest for peddling in cocaine.
Right.
And the best favor, a very good friend of mine, by the way, best favor he ever did to me was not buy me a hamburger when we played softball, not double date with me when I was trying to take out a girl that was friends with the girl he was dating. The best favor he ever did to me was arrest me and put me in jail. And so I understand a little bit of what goes on. But in this day and age, with people with no care for, and I guess it was the same when we were doing it, but we didn't think about it, but fentanyl being put in everything now, and fentanyl is a drug that will kill you on the spot.
It will. And, you know, that's probably the part that we in law enforcement do understand is these individuals, it's a moneymaker. Let's be honest. This is a business for them. The individuals that sell it, that produce it, that's all that they care about. They don't care about the lives of the others. Now, fortunately, here in the state of Florida, we have the law that allows us to charge those individuals once we locate them, figure out who they are, charge them basically with murder. And we've had some successful cases here in Marion County. We were one of the first to get on that and be able to charge individuals, and we're going to continue to do that because we have excellent drug force united team that work together. And when we come across these overdoses, trust me, we will find them, we will hunt them down, and we will arrest them.
How important is it that the state attorney's office, the judges, and the judicial system here, along with the chiefs of the different municipalities and you as sheriff, are all on the same page on how to deal with the scumbags that literally are causing murder by putting fentanyl in this, into marijuana, fentanyl into cocaine, fentanyl into heroin? They care about their bottom line, not a human's life.
That's right.
How important is it that everybody works in harmony together to prosecute these people?
It is enormous importance. When you have a collaboration between all of the entities who each have a small, I don't want to say small, but have a part in the judicial system of the United States, the judicial system in our state, that they all have to be on the same page. Now, we don't always agree, okay? Let's make that clear. We don't always agree. But however, we look at the thing, work together when our part, and if there's something, let's say, the state attorney's office needs, they let us know about it. Okay, here's how we can improve our cases. Here's how we can improve our investigations. They listen to us. The judges listen to us. The judges listen to when we say, hey, look, this individual, we lay it all out, what the law allows the judges to hear and see. We give them the information, and then when everybody's on the same page, there's only one result. That is protecting and ensuring that the citizens of this county are protected on a daily basis.
And I know that you, because we've talked a lot, you and I have talked about this numerous times. I've talked to the chief about this numerous times. You'll use whatever avenue you have at your disposal to make sure you protect the citizens of Marion County. And when I say that, I mean if you can bring a federal charge to
absolutely,
you'll get the federal government involved with bringing charges of trafficking cocaine or trafficking something across state lines. Whatever tool you can use in your toolbox,
exactly
you're going to use.
That is exactly right. You know, on the federal level here, the federal level is a whole different beast, and now the cooperation that we have now. I've never seen it in my 31 years. The cooperation we have on the federal prosecutors, the federal law enforcement agencies that are working with us on a regular basis, all of us coming together is phenomenal, and the results are there. The hard work of prosecutors, hard work of these federal agencies, hard work of our local, just everybody coming together. It's amazing, we make the arrests, and yes, we will use whatever avenue we can. We will find a way to put an individual in jail that does it.
A lot of these people, and what people don't sometimes say, yeah, but they're just dope heads. Who cares? You know, what big deal? It's just a bunch of dope heads, just like when crack was king. They were just a bunch of dope heads. What you don't realize is this opioid thing got out of control with people who weren't doing it to get high. They were doing it because they had shoulder surgery or they had knee surgery, or they went with chronic pain and the doctor said, well, here's 150 Oxycontin.
Yep. A lot of that, it did become a result of that, and people get to admit. Let's make one thing clear: an addiction. And Tom, you know this better than me. It doesn't care who you are.
Does not
care what race you are. Doesn't care about your economic status. Does not care about your sex, what type of sex you have. It does not care. And once it gets hold of you, it's hard to get rid of. You know that, and you talk about it on a regular basis. And unfortunately, it has started because of what you just said. And when people get prescribed and they get addicted to it and they can't get off of it, and it takes a very strong will to stop it, to not do it.
Says from studies I've seen, you can get addicted to opioids in as fast as 72 hours.
That's pretty quick.
That's quick.
Yes,
but, that's why now when you go, like I went to a doctor for my back spasms I'm going through right now, and he said, would you like some Oxycontin? I go, no. He goes, I'll only give you 9. 9. That was 3 days. I was like, no, I don't want any. But he was only going to give me 9. Back in the day, I'll give you 150.
Yeah, exactly. Give you a full bottle.
But that's because doctors back then, a lot of doctors back then were told by the drug companies there's no addictive properties to these opioids. That's the question I want to know, and it's something that you as a sheriff can't do. But I want to know when the state's attorney and the federal attorneys, federal prosecutors are going to start going after drug manufacturers on a whole. I know they go after them periodically, but I want the middleman distribution people that knew that there's no reason. What was I watched 60 Minutes, and there was one town in West Virginia that had 837 people that got 1.7 million opioid pills in a 6-month period. You're going to tell me in a town of 817 people need 1.6 million opioid pills?
There's a clue there.
And the salesman didn't know something might be up?
Yeah.
But to me, that's just legalized drug pushing.
That's exactly right. You're absolutely right, Tom. There's enough. I don't want to say evidence, but there's enough here to say, hey, look, we need to look a little bit deeper into this. We need to put a little more, gives cause to say, hey, look, we need to put a little more restrictions. We need to have a little bit of watch eye over when these drugs are coming out. We need to do something better than having people get addicted to the level in which we are. And then, of course, like the deaths in which we're having. We've got to stop it, because I'm going to tell you right now, and you'll hear it from Chief Graham and the other 2 chiefs as well, we cannot arrest our way out of this.
No way. You're never going to do it. First off, we don't have the room. We've learned, thank goodness, that you can't arrest your way out of this, because we learned that you couldn't arrest your way out of marijuana abuse.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
We have prisons full of people right now for marijuana charges.
Yep.
We tried to arrest our way out of marijuana. How'd that work for us?
It did not work.
It didn't work at all. Speaking of marijuana, you've been 31 years as a police officer.
Yes.
You worked for the Ocala Police Department for a long time. That's where I first was introduced to you. You were Lieutenant Billy Woods.
That's right.
For the Ocala Police Department. And now as the sheriff of Marion County. With the way it has evolved, and now marijuana is, not only is it legal medical-wise in the state of Florida, it's not recreationally legal in Florida, but medical-wise it's legal. And by the way, not the most difficult procurement to get a card. Okay, can we just go ahead? Can we just go ahead and tell you that there's a laundry list of things that if you could check the boxes, you're getting a card.
Right.
Okay. How
manufacturing? There are farmers around the state that are beginning to grow it. Hemp. Okay,
right.
There's a difference. A lot of people they look the same, but they're totally two different things. But in law enforcement, it is what you just said. We're at the point that legislation makes the law, changes it. We'll go with it. We still see the effects. Okay, let me make that clear. It still has an impact upon a community. It still has an impact when it comes to crime. That doesn't go away. It's just what we are able to accept and tolerate as a society is what we're doing.
Well, people thought that the black market would go away once marijuana becomes legal. And in California, where it is legal, in Colorado, where it is legal for recreational use, in Oregon and Washington, where it's legal for recreational use, the black market's larger now than it ever was before because of all the, like you said, the restrictions and the regulations you have to go through to do it legally.
Correct.
It's still more cost-effective to be an illegal marijuana grower, an illegal seller of marijuana. You're still making more money because of all the non-regulations you don't have to pay for now. When you do it the right way, there's a lot of money that you have to spend to do it the right way.
There's an enormous amount of money, and comes back to what we said in the beginning, comes back to the bottom dollar. The bottom dollar of making money. This is a business for them. So you're absolutely correct. It's going to increase it because they don't want to jump through the hoops. They don't want to have to pay this and pay that and pay out. It eats up into their profits. It's money making is what it is. So you're right, Tom.
I saw on 60 Minutes a couple weeks ago they did a rehash of a show they had done about a year ago, and it talked about that in California, where recreational marijuana is legal, 80% of the legal grown marijuana there is then shipped out on the black market out of state to other states.
I believe
because they have so much backlog because of how many people they thought were going to do it and it's not, and they've got all these growers and everything, that 80% of the marijuana grown in California gets put on trucks and sent elsewhere on the black market.
It does. It does not. That's not surprising at all. It happens. It gets to here. All over the United States, it gets sent over. But then it's California. Remember that.
Well, don't get me started on the whole West Coast right now.
Yeah, I'm a little infuriated with it. California.
California, Wisconsin. I mean, California, Washington, Oregon, they're all infuriating me right now. But that's just a whole different thing. Let's talk about something that isn't talked about very much, but it's something you see on a daily basis. It's something that you and your men and women in the Marion County Sheriff's Department deal with on a regular basis, and that is trafficking of humans. It doesn't get talked about very much, but people don't realize Ocala is a place where it happens quite a bit more than people would think because of the interstate system we have, the good road system and everything. Human trafficking is a very big problem, and Ocala has its own problem with it. I would say it's a problem that, is happening on every street, but it's something y'all deal with on a regular basis.
Yes, it is. Here's something for everybody to remember. Every crime occurs in every city, regardless of how big they are. Doesn't make a difference. They're a tiny little city or county of a small population all the way to your large like Miami-Dade. We all have the exact same crimes. It's just the amount of them. And do we have trafficking here? Yes. It's always a concern, and we're always trying to it's one of those crimes that sometimes is difficult to prove because your victims don't see themselves as victims because it just depends on what it is. Let me clarify that because I'm pretty sure somebody's listening saying that I tried to make small of the crime or the victim, but it's not the truth. It's just the majority of them, they don't see themselves as victims. Human trafficking, whether it be for business purposes of using for indigent workers in that area, that happens as well too, all the way down to the sex level, of prostitution. We try to stay in the forefront of it, but it does become difficult because those victims are not the ones that are making the phone calls to us.
You make a valid point. When you say human trafficking, people immediately think sex workers.
Correct.
And sex slave, that kind of trafficking. But in our area, where we're a very large agricultural area, we got a lot of farms, we got a lot of orange groves around the area, we got horse farms and everything. just indentured servants or people who you can't have your passports back until you make until you make enough money working to pay me for getting you over here and stuff. That's human trafficking, and that's what happens here more than the sex human trafficking.
Yes, it is. That's exactly right. It happens a lot here. Again, that's the most difficult because the person not only sees. They see beyond them having to pay for their passport, having to pay for what got them here. That money also goes to families that are not here. It goes back to whatever country they came from, and that money's being put towards them. And they think family first, and they want to take care of their family. They're willing to sacrifice themselves in whatever area, whether it be hard labor. That's what they do.
I remember the first time I saw human trafficking in Marion County, that I noticed it in Marion County. You were still at the Ocala Police Department. You may have even worked on the group. It was the Chinese buffet that was in the Pine Plaza.
Oh, yeah. I forgot all about that. Sure enough. Yep.
A lot of the dishwashers and the cooks and everything were Chinese that were here as indentured servants, basically working. I think you raided, or the federal government or you guys all in concert raided an apartment that was like a 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartment that had like 30 people living in it.
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, right there, the Chinese buffet that used to be in Pine Plaza. That was, 12, 15 years ago?
Easily 15 years ago. Yeah.
Right. But that's people think, oh, well, the horse farms or the orange groves. No. Large restaurants and all, ethnic restaurants can do the exact same thing and do it on a regular basis.
Yeah. And again, this is just like drugs. It doesn't make a difference what nationality, what country you're from. It affects all walks of life,
What is your take on the lawlessness that we're seeing across the country? Because the one thing we've had protests here. We've had protesters here. I walked with a group that walked from the square down to Martin Luther King Boulevard to the community center there, and we've had people with signs out touting Black Lives Matter and the Trump supporters out doing their thing and everything. And you don't see the visceral and the anger amongst groups here in Marion County like you do nationwide. What are you doing in concert with the chiefs of the municipalities around this area to have it where people are able to protest, they're able to get their point across, but there's not the anger and visceral nastiness that you see everywhere else?
Marion County is unique, and I'm hopeful there's other counties like us, not just in the state of Florida, but around the nation, that we're so unique that people do exercise their constitutional right the right way. The violence that you see around this nation is unacceptable. It is unacceptable, this lawlessness that occurs, the violence that occurs. I don't think that I have ever seen it to this level in my lifetime, let alone in my career, the degree in which it's from. It is unacceptable. And it is unacceptable here in Marion County. We chiefs, as a sheriff, I work with the chiefs. We discuss when something comes up that we know that there's a gathering, we're aware of it. We look into it and ensuring that you don't, because a lot of these incidents that are occurring are individuals from the outside. They're not from the local communities. Williston had it in this not this weekend, but the weekend
2 weekends ago.
2 weekends ago, Williston had it where, they reached out to us for help because they don't have the manpower. That's how we work together. That's how we all come together to divert our resources to assist in particular areas. But that's what happened there. It wasn't the locals. It actually was outsiders that came in and caused the problems. And for any entity, whether you're an elected official, organization, group, it is unacceptable for you to say that is okay. It is not. It has never been okay to take it to that level. Now, we're not talking about right now what in 1700s or what we had to face then as a nation, as a people, those 13 colonies and what they were oppressed by a king. That's not what we're facing now, okay? It's totally different. But what I can tell you is that it will not be tolerated here in Marion County. We have plans in place that will address the issues, allow people to exercise their constitutional right. Then if it goes to any level, you will go to jail. Will not tolerate it. And what you're beginning to see is that those that say that is okay, the sentiment, like over this past weekend, the 2 sheriff's deputies in California
Ambushed,
murdered, unacceptable. You know what else?
And then people blocked the hospital and wouldn't let them in, saying, "Hope they die. Chanting, they hope they die."
Yeah. Let me make this clear to the listeners on this radio. If you even think of doing that at one of my hospitals, one of my deputies or a law enforcement officer is shot, and they're trying to get him to safety, and you interfere, I promise you that I will put you in jail. I promise you I will do everything I can to get you removed from that area, because that is not acceptable. Nothing is okay with people saying that an individual, regardless if they're wearing a uniform, is just plainly being shot like that for no reason whatsoever. That is prejudice in its purest form.
100%. I agree with you totally, and it was sickening to see those crowds that wanted to see a human die.
Yes.
Not because they knew the person, but because the person wore a badge. That's the only thing.
That's exactly right.
That made them want to die is because they wore a badge. And by the way, people that wear badges, when they get off work, they're next door neighbors. They shop at Publix. They go to Lowe's. They do just the same as everybody.
We are. We're the same as every other human being that walks the planet this earth. Now, I'm not making excuses for those that do wrong, because when they do wrong, that they are wrong. It is not the uniform. It is not the badge or the star in which we wear, because the uniform represents good. And when you stand against that good, here it's plain and simple as this. Satan, the devil, hates what is good in this world, and he will do anything and everything in his power to ensure that it fails. And that's what's occurring right now.
Sheriff Billy Woods of the Marion County Sheriff's Department. It's always good to talk to you, Billy.
Pleasure to talk to you, Tom. I miss you.
I wouldn't go that far, Billy. I wouldn't go that far. Coming up next, Joe Martone rejoins the fracas right here on 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. Coronavirus cases are surging in 11 states, according to the latest Johns Hopkins University